Bushwood Country Club Member Guest Invitational to benefit FC. My name is David Slye, and as president of Bushwood Country Club, it's my pleasure to welcome you here today. Before we begin this evening's festivities, please join me in a moment of silence in honor of the members of our armed forces, their families who sacrifice so much for us, for the sick and suffering alcoholic or addict who's still out there in need of help, for a family member or friend who has passed away or is ill, or for whatever reason you choose. Thank you. And may God bless those of whom we were all just thinking of, including my friends Andy Pasquina, Dave Connors, and Bill Barra. I'd like to also take a moment to thank our sponsors, whose contributions aid the efforts of FCD as they put forth in helping children of all ages all over the world make healthy and informed decisions regarding the misuse and abuse of alcohol and other drugs. Please join me in a quick round of applause of appreciation for our incredibly generous two lead sponsors, John Hancock Real Estate and Mr. John Power of Farley White Interest. We're also deeply indebted and appreciate the support of our T sponsors. Hold your applause till the end of this list, please. Peter Smythe, John Grady, Bill Grinnell of the Grinnell Sousa Group of Wells Fargo, NAI Hunneman, Intercontinental Real Estate, JLL, Rich May, the Crowley family, Todd Beatty, Spaceworks, and UBS Boston, VPNE, Fred Hussey of the Hussey Group, John and Tracy Hines, and Lincoln Property Company. Thank you very much, one and all. I'll be honest with you. I feel as though I'm getting a little long in the tooth when it comes to hosting this tournament. I seem to be losing my steam a little bit, and a little of the drive that it takes to pull this together. And much of that stems from the fact that it seems a little harder to get people to commit and play. And it feels like a little more work. This year we have a little less than 100 players, which in my mind was a little bit of a disappointment. So I've been wondering, has Bushwood run its course? Are people tired of supporting the cause? Maybe a little more self-centered of me, or are people just sick of my speech? Have folks simply moved on to things that are more important? What am I doing wrong when I get up here if I feel like it's that hard? And that's the way my mind works. Something must be wrong, and somehow it must center around me. Lately, I found that I'm reflecting a lot about life. I was driving to work a couple of weeks ago, and I heard a certain song that reminded me of my sister Janet. I have the memorial card from her funeral service in my car. So I pulled it out, looked at the picture, teared up a little bit, and realized she was my age when she passed away a couple of years ago. I was feeling sad and honestly a little fearful, probably a little bit of self-pity. I was recently talking with someone about our respective relationships with our dads. And I was reminded of how my dad always just signed his name on the birthday card or holiday card that he sent me. He never wrote out any real, meaningful sentiments that I wanted to hear. I didn't think he really expressed any of the pride, the love, and the emotion that I wanted him to express to me. So again, during the conversation, I was feeling a little sad, even a little resentful, a little bit of self-pity again. My 24-year-old daughter was seeking a new job opportunity in Washington, D.C. And after less than a year at her current job, which was her first job, she asked me for some early advice, which of course made me feel quite important. Well, she didn't take it, which left me kind of pissed off and feeling a little ignored. My 22-year-old son lived and worked with me over this last summer, and during the summer, he ignored some of my house rules, which really pissed me off. And he also found himself in a little bit of a tough personal situation, which of course I knew could have been avoided if he just listened to what I had told him to do. So I blew up in self-righteous anger, felt ignored again. My wife and I have been recently lamenting about our 7-year-old who just won't listen. And he's constantly interrupting and ignoring us and acting out by antagonizing us and poking at us, which I respond to at times with anger. You know, the old, "I'm your father, listen to me, do as I say." You know, which again leaves me feeling, angry, a little out of control, and then sometimes guilty after that. So what's the theme here? Why so negative and full of self-pity? Why am I looking at the glass half empty and I see nothing but my self-centered reflection looking back? Well, the answer is because I'm an alcoholic. Because my first thought is oftentimes not the one I should run with. Because my head is a neighborhood no one should hang out in alone. And frankly, just because that's the natural way I think. Except then I realize I'm actually one of the lucky ones. I'm one of the sick and suffering whose family cared enough to take a hard line, show some tough love, and perform an intervention so that I might address my drinking problem and see some hope that all this damn stinking thinking wouldn't lead to a life of, poor me misery. Donald Cutler, the founder of FCD, which is the charity we're here supporting, was the man who led my family through those difficult and dark times. He gave them the direction, strength, and faith they were doing what was in my best interest and what was in their best interest. He led the effort that ultimately saved my life and put me on a course of recovery that has taught me how to work through all those self-centered and miserable first thoughts. The results? Rather than sitting here being glum and focusing on my friends that aren't here today, I can read and feel the positive texts and emails that I've received and be grateful for all the support. I can pause and realize that some are not here because they're being present for others and themselves. They're doing the next right thing by attending funerals, taking care of children, and fighting their own battles like cancer. I can be sad for their loss, not mine. And I can be concerned for them and their family during their struggle and let them know I'm here for them if they need me. Rather than live in fear and sadness that my sister died at my age, I can relish in the relationships I have with her husband, her children, and now her grandchildren. I can be an active part of their lives and feel the blessing of the family and legacy that my sister created. It truly warms my heart. Rather than focus on the resentment and sadness that's created in my mind by what my father didn't write and what I didn't get, I can realize that he actually brought those cards and bought them for what they said. He needed the card to do his talking. He couldn't do it. It's not what he didn't say, it's what I didn't hear. I can accept his way of sharing his feelings, and I can feel gratitude for the love he gave me before he passed away. Instead of moping about my kids, not listening to me, and feeling rejected, I can focus on the pride and joy of my daughter's new position in Washington, D.C., her success and her happiness. I can smile with satisfaction about how well my son is doing in college and be excited by his semester abroad, enjoying his wonderment and his experiences through his eyes, not mine. And I can realize that all 7-year-olds act out occasionally, especially if their father wasn't around so much this summer like he would have liked. He missed me. I mean, how great is that? He was actually upset that I wasn't around. So now I can sit and talk and hug him and enjoy his presence. It's a miracle. So I'm not sure if you followed me through that. It actually seemed a little confusing to me. So I'll simplify it a little bit. Don Cutler and FCD started me down the road that allows me to get out of my own way and see the blessings of my life. To know that everyone is fighting a battle I know nothing about. And to be empathetic and understanding and not let things out of my control distort my mood. To be grateful for the living relationships I have, not to live in sorrow for the ones I've lost. To receive love the way it's delivered, not the way I think it should come. And to accept people especially my children, for who they are, and not judge them the people I think they ought to be. I don't know why at this point I seem to be reflecting so much on my own life, but I do know that Don Cutler of FCD founded the journey that allows me to be happy and grateful. This evening, I'm particularly grateful to you and for you, each and every one of you, for your support of FCD's mission and for your support of me. I would not be here today without both. Thank you very much.